Hello, my name is Nicole Starr and I'm a representative for the Urban Transformation Research Project. Our presentation deals with sustainability aspects of public transport systems in Phoenix and Hamburg. We would like to start our presentation by introducing you to Emma, the sustainability scientist who will be walking you through the first steps of our research project. Being a sustainability scientist, Emma has to balance between engaging with the public on their needs and ideas, as well as conducting research with the main focus of bringing this balance to real-world issues. By keeping this balance, Emma is able to fully understand sustainability challenges, which include the economy, environment, and society. Emma is interested in researching the different aspects of public transportation due to the growing importance of public transportation within cities. Emma is especially interested in researching public transportation because of the interactions between the infrastructure and people. In addition, Emma notices that the challenges such as the continuing growth of cities, demographic changes, traffic congestion, increase in pollution, urban waste production, and population growth have a tremendous impact on public transportation stations. But how does Emma conduct her research on stations without becoming lost in the vast amounts of data and information that can be found on the public transportation network as well as on stations? Emma decides the best way to conduct her research is to first get a fundamental understanding of the aspects of public transportation. This approach creates a lens with which she is able to analyze public transportation as a whole and participate in the future development of public transportation and stations. This lens incorporates 4 different dimensions, which include functions, complexity, the location of public transportation, and sustainability requirements and challenges. Emma realizes that stations are complex adaptive systems, wherein people and the infrastructure continually interact with each other over a certain period of time and within the complex adaptive public transportation network. Based on the literature that Emma reviewed, she found 4 characteristics on how stations are complex adaptive systems. These 4 characteristics are the adaptation of the station and the location of the community, the diversity that the station creates within the community, the connectivity, and the interdependence between the public transportation stations, people, and the surroundings. Emma then realizes that her research depends on the location of public transportation stations and noticed the variances between these stations within countries, cities, and communities. The availability of stations can fundamentally change the community and influence the stakeholders living within the community. Mobility transfers occur at stations, making them hubs of multimodal transport. Further, these stations create a place for social interaction, which contribute to the dual nature of stations, existing as nodes and unique places within a city. Nodes can be described as points within the city, strategically located into which the individual enters. Nodes are often junctions, a crossing or converging of paths. Furthermore, Emma realizes that the public transportation stations fulfill certain functions which have been defined by another scientist named Zem. These functions are acting as a link catchment area and transport network, supporting transfer between modes of transport, facilitating the commercial use of real estate, providing public space, and contributing to the place identity of the surrounding area. By looking at these functions, Emma can better understand the reasons and opportunities for taking public transport. Next, Emma wants to take a look at the problems and requirements which stations have to fulfill in regards to sustainability. Based on the literature, Emma concluded there are 8 different criteria for sustainability. For example, the first criteria is socio-ecological system integrity, which addresses how human ecological relationships affect the long-term health of humans and ecosystems. However, Emma realizes that all 8 of these criteria do not necessarily pertain to stations. After noticing the different layers of sustainability, Emma acknowledges that stations are facing certain sustainability problems such as inaccessibility and the use of the surrounding infrastructure. After analyzing these 4 dimensions of complexity, location, functions, and problems and requirements with regard to sustainability of stations, Emma discovers that a research approach adds to existing research. Emma now has a thorough understanding of the complexity and the impact of stations, but needs to apply the theoretical frame in a real-world setting. This theoretical frame has the potential to lead to a methodology that can be used to better understand the development of public transportation in a more sustainable way. And now, take a look at our research question. How can a public transport station in Hamburg and Phoenix be designed in order to solve certain sustainability issues and meet the current and future needs of the users? Based on the research framework which we have provided through Emma, we conducted case studies at a public transportation station in Hamburg and in Phoenix, focusing on the sustainability and accessibility of stations and the use of the surrounding infrastructure. These two issues of accessibility and the use of the surrounding infrastructure were key components of our results and recommendations for the station. To get our results, we surveyed 80 users of the stations and interviewed a combined total of 13 stakeholders within the community as well as experts on public transportation. In addition to that, we recognized that Lübecker Straße and 38th Street in Washington are facing sustainability problems which are interconnected and separate given the age and location of the two stations and transportation networks. Their responses, along with the approach and framework that we provided earlier, allowed us to create an approach which could be the fundamental beginnings of a methodology if research is conducted and applied in the real world.